Hey my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. In my new favorite coffee mug, which is the logo of my channel. See? Matches my t-shirt. Hold the cream. Excuse me. Anyway, today is Wednesday, August 19th. 2020, of course. And today's topic, it's sort of more of a broad topic. I'm going to call it life update, or like getting more comfortable with things. Excuse me. So last videos that I shot were probably about a month ago. And one of the videos that I did was on facing your fears. And, you know, I was honest about the fact that I haven't really been going out or doing much because of the pandemic, all of that stuff. But I'm happy to report that in the last month, I have faced that many more things. So there's been a bit more of normalcy in my life because I've been kind of forcing myself to go out and do things that I haven't done, that I used to always do pre-pandemic. And, you know, baby steps, and it may not seem like a lot, but they're big things to me. One thing that I did for the first time just a couple of days ago was the whole outdoor dining thing, which I haven't done since, because I've sort of been it's been hot, and I just, the whole thought of even being around that many people, sort of a little scary. So what I did end up doing was, in my neighborhood, there's a local little pub, and they have tables outside of the establishment, and they serve, bar food and beverages. So I got a Coke and a cheeseburger deluxe, and just to be able to sit on the street and watch the people walking by, because it was right on Queens Boulevard, which is 1 block from where I live. That was sort of a big deal for me. So I was wow, I could, finally say that I ate out somewhere, because I really hadn't. I also, in the last couple of weeks, I've been going out a little more on the subway. I've said this before, but I'm used to pre-pandemic being on the subway 5, 6, 7 days a week. And then suddenly from between March and June, I think it was 3 times in the 3 months. So in the last few weeks, it's been more at least once or twice a week. And actually last week and 2 weeks before that, it was Monday through Thursday. And, a couple of those days, I even did 2 round trips where I went and did stuff during the day, came back home, and then had something to do in the evening. So even something simple like riding the subway with that much frequency was a bit of angst for me. But, I'm a better person for having done it. And, little things like that kind of make me feel more things are getting back to, the new norm, a bit of normalcy. The other thing I did also about a week ago was I went down to the Christopher Street Piers with my best friend Droopy. Hey Droopy, which that's something that we do every year. That's always been our thing. That it's beautiful there. They have renovated it years ago, so there's that nice grassy area that you can lay on, and the sprinklers. So if it gets too hot, and because we've been having all these heat waves. We went one day, I guess about a week ago, last week, Tuesday. And the good thing about that was, because it was during the week, it was no one was there. It was the 2 of us and maybe half a dozen people. We went early. We got there 11:30. We were there for a couple of hours, and it was the perfect day, because even though it was sunny and hot and beautiful, when you're by the water, there's a little more of a breeze, and, the humidity was low. So I was wow, we met, we got our coffees and our sandwiches at Dunkin' Donuts and walked down to the piers and laid out. And that's something that we would always do, and I haven't done it. It's the only time that I've done it this summer. So it really hasn't been much of a summer, which is kind of messed up, because I'm wait a minute, when all of this first started in the fall and winter, not the fall and the winter, I should say, going into spring, the weather was so cold. And, I remember thinking I couldn't wait for the hot weather to come, and I can't wait for summer to get here. But I think back then initially, a lot of us were thinking, or at least I was thinking, that, come June at least, that things would be a lot more back to normal. but the fact is gyms are still not open. Indoor dining is not happening in New York City yet. Because, so this is a lot worse than they initially thought. So that in itself, just readjusting your mindset where I was thinking, okay, I remember initially they would say a couple of weeks, everything's going to shut down for a couple of weeks. And in my mind, I was like, I think it's going to be more like a few months. So I had it set in my head that come June, but now it's already middle of August, and it's like, wow, numbers are spiking up in other states. New York, we're doing pretty good. But, and this isn't even the second wave yet. So it's like, wow, this is some serious shit. So it kind of also now that it's been so many months later and we're still dealing with this, that in itself is kind of surreal and a bit of a mind fuck. So it does kind of make you rethink things and, just kind of replan things. So, and now because it's been so hot and we've had so many heat waves, now I find myself thinking, oh my God, I can't wait for the fall weather, because it's just been, heat wave after heat wave, and God knows, my air conditioner I'm running every minute. The good news is the last couple of days, it's been pleasant, low humidity. It's only been in the 70s or barely hitting 80. So I've been able to give the air conditioner a rest, because I don't know about you guys, but after a while, I'm like, this air conditioner is, it becomes a bit much for me when I have it on 24/7, and that's what I've needed to do. The other thing I did was a dear friend of mine, Ava. Hi, Ava. A few weeks ago, she had a little birthday celebration, and that was actually in Brooklyn, and it was at this place called Otis, which is really quite amazing. We inaugurated the outside, back patio thing that they have, and there was about 20 of us, but it was a large space, and, we were able to be socially distanced and wear our mask. And so, it was great to see so many people that I knew, because I haven't been all that social. And, that in itself is a little bit of can mess with your head. I like to think for the most part I'm fine. I'm dealing with it, because really what choice do we have? I had done another video not too long ago on mental health, and, because of this pandemic, it's it's okay to have days where you don't feel as happy or peppy or optimistic or whatever as, so long as the majority of the time you do. And I've always been pretty good about, looking at the brighter side of things. But, that gets increasingly harder. But, it's all about your perception and your mindset. And, and I've, knock on wood, I've always been pretty good with having that be, optimistic about things. So all of these little things, these, the fact that I've been doing these few things that have shown me that my level of comfort is getting better, that to me speaks volumes. And I know to hear it, you might say, well, bitch, all you did was go eat. Or all you did was go lay out at the Piers, or, ride the subway 6 times in 1 week versus once a month or once a week. But little things like that, for me, speak volumes in terms of my own personal journey with everything going on. So, I don't know. So I guess I just wanted to share that because, I love my viewers, and maybe there are other people out there that are experiencing the same thing that I am. And, I guess the whole point also is I want to say, pat yourself on the back if you do little things like that, or, steps that may seem like baby steps to other people, but to you are a big deal, then that's ultimately what matters. So to me, these things that I've been doing, have been a big deal and have put me a little closer to feeling a bit normal. Who knew that riding the subway would make me be like, oh, thank God I'm on the subway. Also, I make sure that I go during off hours, not during rush hour, although I don't know how crowded the trains would be during rush hour, but I'd imagine with more people going back to work, may not be like it was before, but, it's probably more people now than initially. Not probably, I'm sure it is. So, but still, so I pick and choose when I do what and what time of the day, just to, again, baby steps for me, and just being, trying to make that level of comfort come easier for me. So what are you guys' thoughts? Am I alone in this? I don't think so, but, leave your thoughts, your comments. Let me know how you're, if you're doing little things or things that maybe aren't so little that, that are making you much more comfortable with yourself, with everything going on, with being around people, with just, this whole pandemic that the world is dealing with. So one other little update is I was supposed to be flying to Spain in September with my best friend in Denver, Bunnies. Hey, Bunnies. And, unfortunately with Europe saying, United States, you can't come, that's a bummer because we've had this plan since last September. So there are little things like that, or not. I don't think that's a little thing, but there are certain things that like I was looking forward to doing, and I'm sure the people have been as well, that suddenly are not happening, have to be canceled or postponed. But even that, the mindset is, that I have to remind myself, I can't like get too upset and say, oh, like that means I'm never going to go. No, that means it's postponed for now. Something that eventually I'll be able to do. It's just I can't do it right now, and that's okay. There's a lot of things you can't do right now, but eventually we'll be able to. So if you look at it that way, that's, I think, a healthier way of looking at it, instead of, being too upset about it. Be upset with it, deal with it, move on, and then just think everything happens for a reason. So in my mind, what that means is when I do go to Spain, which will probably be the following September, then it's going to be that much better. And that was when I was supposed to be there. So again, perception is key. Okay, guys, so that's my update. That's my level of comfort increasing. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. And as always, thank you so much for being here with me, for indulging me and listening to me. And, hope this helped people out, or, so again, leave your comments, subscribe. Looking forward to seeing everyone in person. Love you. Bye.